Imagine if I told you that everything I've learned in 40 years of life, the successes, the failures, the heartbreaks, and the breakthroughs, can be shared with you in just 14 minutes. 4 decades of experience, distilled into the lessons that truly changed the game. Today, I'm not here to give you theories or empty motivation. I'm here to reveal the truths that most people spend a lifetime trying to figure out, truths that can transform the way you think, the way you act, and the way you live. By the end of this talk, you'll see life through a completely different lens, you'll understand the forces that shape your destiny, and you'll gain tools to take immediate action toward the life you've always wanted. Every minute counts, and every insight has the potential to shift everything. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just a speech, it's a roadmap to mastering your mind, your energy, and your life, starting right now. Pain is often seen as something to avoid, a signal that life has dealt an unfair hand, yet it is one of the most powerful teachers we will ever encounter. Every experience of loss, failure, or heartbreak carries with it a hidden lesson that, when understood, becomes a source of strength and clarity. Pain forces us to confront ourselves, to see our weaknesses, our blind spots, and our unacknowledged fears. It strips away pretense and illusion, leaving us face to face with reality. When we resist pain, we prolong suffering, but when we embrace it as a teacher, we transform it into a catalyst for growth. There is a unique clarity in pain, a way it sharpens our perception and deepens our understanding of what truly matters. Every wound we carry, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, carries within it the blueprint for our evolution. Pain teaches humility by reminding us that we are not always in control, and it teaches resilience by showing us that we are stronger than we imagined. Often, it is through the most challenging moments that we discover our capacity for courage, patience, and perseverance. The discomfort of failure or rejection is not an obstacle but a signpost pointing toward areas of life where we need to learn, adapt, and expand. Pain also deepens empathy, allowing us to connect with others on a profound level because we recognize our shared struggles and vulnerabilities. It dismantles arrogance and entitlement, replacing them with gratitude and perspective. When we examine our suffering, we find patterns, triggers, and insights that guide us toward better decisions and wiser choices. The critical element is perception. Pain itself is neutral. It is how we interpret and respond to it that determines whether it will be a source of destruction or a stepping stone toward transformation. Learning from pain requires honesty, self-reflection, and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It is in those moments of discomfort that our character is forged, our priorities clarified, and our potential awakened. Pain, when seen through the lens of learning rather than punishment, becomes a master teacher, demanding that we grow, adapt, and evolve. It is the forge in which resilience, wisdom, and depth of understanding are created, shaping not just what we do but who we ultimately become. The mind is the battlefield where the war of life is truly fought, and the way we think determines the quality of our reality. Every emotion we feel, every action we take, begins with a thought, and often we underestimate the power these inner narratives hold over our lives. Negative thoughts, doubts, and fears act like anchors, holding us back from our potential and convincing us that limitations are permanent. Conversely, empowering thoughts, clarity, and focused intentions serve as catalysts, opening doors that seemed impossible to unlock. The mind is constantly generating patterns, some of which are inherited, some learned, and many formed unconsciously over years of experience. Unless we actively observe and manage these patterns, they shape our perception of reality without our awareness. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we deserve, and what we can achieve form the foundation of our actions. When we think we are powerless, we act in ways that confirm that belief, and when we think we are capable, we move with confidence and purpose. Emotional states such as fear, anxiety, or frustration are direct reflections of the thoughts dominating our consciousness, and they influence every decision we make. Understanding that our mind can be trained like a muscle is essential. The more we consciously direct it, the more we align ourselves with possibilities rather than limitations. Self-talk, visualization, and focused attention are tools that allow us to shape our inner world, which then manifests externally in relationships, careers, and personal growth. The mind is also a filter for perception. Two people can face the same situation and experience it completely differently based on the lens of their thinking. Awareness of this power gives us choice, the choice to reject limiting beliefs, the choice to cultivate optimism, and the choice to act decisively. Mastery of the mind does not mean eliminating negative thoughts altogether, but it means recognizing them, questioning them, and choosing which ones to follow. This internal mastery leads to external mastery, because clarity of thought fosters clarity of action. By intentionally shaping our mental landscape, we create resilience against challenges, maintain focus amid chaos, and harness our energy to achieve what once seemed impossible. The battlefield of the mind is not a place of passive existence, it is the arena where potential becomes reality, and those who learn to command their inner world gain the power to shape every aspect of their lives. Change does not occur in the external world until it begins within us, and yet most people spend their lives waiting for circumstances to shift, believing that new opportunities or external events will suddenly make life easier or better. The truth is that the world mirrors the state of our inner world, and until we evolve internally, nothing outside will truly change. Growth begins with self-awareness, the willingness to examine our thoughts, habits, and patterns, and recognize the areas where we are stuck. Often, people seek solutions in external fixes, a new job, a new relationship, or a different environment, thinking that these will solve the problem. Yet without an internal shift, even the most promising external changes fail to bring lasting fulfillment or success. Transformation starts with choice, the conscious decision to let go of limiting beliefs and old behaviors that no longer serve us. It requires courage to face discomfort, to embrace uncertainty, and to step into unfamiliar territory. Internal change demands discipline, the consistent practice of new ways of thinking and acting, and the patience to endure temporary setbacks without giving up. As we evolve internally, our perception of the world shifts, revealing opportunities that were always present but previously unseen. Relationships improve, careers advance, and our sense of purpose deepens because we approach life from a higher level of awareness and energy. The key is to understand that waiting for external conditions to be perfect is an illusion. The real lever of change is within our control. When we focus on expanding our mindset, cultivating emotional resilience, and strengthening our character, we naturally attract circumstances that reflect our internal growth. Every challenge becomes a chance to practice new skills, every setback an invitation to rethink our approach, and every success a confirmation that internal alignment creates external results. Growth also requires reflection, the honest evaluation of what is working, what is not, and the humility to adjust accordingly. The moment we commit to internal evolution, our confidence rises, our clarity sharpens, and our actions gain purpose and direction. Change does not demand perfection, only intention and consistency. The external world is a reflection of the energy, beliefs, and habits we carry, and as those transform, life transforms with them. Recognizing this principle allows us to stop waiting passively and start acting intentionally, knowing that the power to shape our reality has always resided within, and that true opportunities emerge only when we ourselves are willing to grow and evolve. Achievement alone does not define a successful life, and yet many people chase titles, wealth, and recognition believing that these will bring lasting satisfaction. True success is measured not by what you accumulate, but by how aligned your actions are with your values, passions, and purpose. Without fulfillment, accomplishments can feel hollow, leaving a sense of emptiness despite outward appearances of success. Fulfillment comes from connecting deeply with what matters most, nurturing relationships, contributing to something greater than yourself, and living with integrity and authenticity. It is possible to climb the highest ladder and gain the most accolades while feeling disconnected, unfulfilled, or even isolated, because the human spirit thrives not merely on achievement, but on meaning. Passion fuels perseverance, giving energy and motivation even in the face of obstacles, while purpose provides direction, ensuring that effort is invested in endeavors that truly resonate with your deepest values. When actions are guided solely by external rewards, life becomes a cycle of chasing without ever feeling satisfied, because each milestone quickly loses its luster. Connection with others amplifies fulfillment, as shared experiences, empathy, and collaboration remind us that we are part of a larger story and that our impact extends beyond ourselves. Fulfillment also demands self-awareness, the conscious choice to evaluate what genuinely brings joy, satisfaction, and growth, rather than simply following societal expectations or external definitions of success. Gratitude plays a critical role, allowing us to recognize the abundance and opportunities already present, instead of perpetually striving for more without appreciation. Achievements become truly meaningful when they align with a life of purpose, when they contribute positively to others, and when they reflect the values we hold dear. This alignment creates harmony between ambition and contentment, allowing success to be both external and internal. Without fulfillment, the climb feels endless, and even the highest peak can feel lonely or unsatisfying. The balance between achievement and fulfillment is not static, it requires constant attention, reflection, and adjustment to ensure that goals, actions, and personal values remain aligned. By prioritizing fulfillment alongside accomplishment, we experience a richer, deeper life that resonates with meaning, energizes the spirit, and fosters a sense of contribution and satisfaction. Success becomes more than a destination, it becomes a way of being that integrates growth, purpose, and joy, ensuring that our efforts lead not just to recognition, but to a life that feels genuinely worth living and shared with others in meaningful ways. Energy is the invisible currency that shapes every aspect of our lives, and it is far more powerful than most people realize. The way we feel, think, and act in each moment is directly influenced by the quality of our energy, and yet we often underestimate its impact, allowing fatigue, stress, or negativity to dictate our reality. Energy is not just physical vitality, it encompasses emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions, creating a field that attracts circumstances, people, and opportunities aligned with its frequency. When we operate in low energy, drained, anxious, or fearful, we invite confusion, mistakes, and obstacles, and life feels heavy and challenging. Conversely, when we cultivate high energy through focus, clarity, gratitude, movement, and purpose, we create a momentum that amplifies creativity, productivity, and resilience. Energy is contagious. The state we bring to interactions shapes the response we receive and the environment we influence. By consciously managing our energy, we gain the ability to navigate challenges with composure, inspire others, and maintain clarity amid chaos. Habits such as physical exercise, healthy nutrition, restorative rest, and mindful practices directly influence energy levels, while emotional regulation, positive self-talk, and aligning actions with values sustain high-quality energy. Awareness of how we expend and replenish energy is crucial, because energy is finite and mismanagement leads to burnout, frustration, and diminished performance. Those who master their energy understand that it is the foundation for focus, creativity, and action. Without it, even the best strategies, knowledge, or opportunities cannot be fully realized. Energy also affects perception. When we are drained or negative, the world appears limited, challenges seem insurmountable, and opportunities go unnoticed. High energy, on the other hand, expands perspective, sharpens intuition, and generates the drive to act decisively. This principle applies not only to personal goals but also to relationships and leadership. People are drawn to those who radiate vitality, confidence, and clarity, and repelled by lethargy, cynicism, or fear. The cultivation of energy is therefore both an internal responsibility and an external influence, shaping the quality of life, achievements, and connections we experience. By understanding energy as the foundation of everything, we stop blaming circumstances or others for stagnation, and instead focus on how we can elevate our state, consistently replenishing and channeling it toward purposeful action, knowing that the vibrancy of life, the clarity of thought, and the effectiveness of effort are all determined by the energy we carry and project in each moment. The present moment is the only place where life truly exists, and yet most people spend their days trapped in memories of the past or anxieties about the future, missing the power that lies in now. The past is unchangeable, and dwelling on mistakes or regrets only drains energy and clouds judgment, while the future is uncertain and planning for it without action is merely an illusion. Real transformation happens in the present because every decision, every thought, and every action occurs in this single moment. By fully embracing now, we reclaim control over our life, recognizing that it is not circumstances but our choices in the present that shape our destiny. Awareness of the moment allows us to act with clarity and intention rather than react impulsively to external pressures or internal fears. It is in this space that creativity, courage, and resolve emerge, and where the seeds of future success are planted through disciplined action. The power of now also lies in its ability to dissolve unnecessary mental clutter. When attention is anchored in the present, worries about what has been or what might be fade, leaving room for focus, insight, and effective decision-making. Practicing presence involves developing mindfulness, observing thoughts without judgment, and consciously directing energy toward what can be done in the moment. It requires letting go of attachment to outcomes and instead committing fully to the process, understanding that sustained effort in the present accumulates into long-term results. The present is also where emotional resilience is built. Instead of being overwhelmed by past failures or future uncertainties, we learn to respond constructively to whatever arises, strengthening confidence and self-mastery. Each small choice made now compounds into habits, routines, and character traits that define our life trajectory, making the recognition of this power essential. The moment holds infinite potential because it is where action meets opportunity, where intention transforms into reality, and where growth is not theoretical but tangible. By living fully in the present, we cultivate clarity, presence, and momentum, ensuring that our energy is not wasted on regret or fear but invested in purposeful action. Understanding the supremacy of now changes the way we approach challenges, relationships, and goals, because we no longer postpone life, waiting for perfect conditions, but seize the power available in every breath, every thought, and every step, realizing that mastery over the present moment is the key to shaping the future and experiencing life with intensity, focus, and authenticity. In life, the lessons we learn over decades can often be distilled into a few simple truths that, when applied, have the power to transform everything. We have explored the profound impact of pain as a teacher, the battlefield of the mind, the necessity of internal change, the alignment of success with fulfillment, the importance of managing our energy, and the power of living fully in the present moment. Each of these principles reminds us that life does not wait, that our destiny is shaped by the choices we make now, and that the greatest breakthroughs often come from clarity, courage, and consistent action. The wisdom of 40 years can indeed be shared in 14 minutes, but its true value lies in how each of us applies it to our own journey. As you go forward, remember that challenges are opportunities in disguise, that your mind and energy are your greatest assets, and that the present moment is the only place where real transformation occurs. Approach life with intention, embrace every lesson, and never underestimate your capacity to create the life you envision. I wish each of you the courage to act, the clarity to focus on what truly matters, and the resilience to rise stronger with every challenge. May your journey be filled with growth, purpose, and fulfillment. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to open yourself to these insights, and I wish you the very best of luck in applying them to create a life of meaning, impact, and joy.